What's up, YouTube? It's Michaela. I am turning 27 tomorrow. Man, how the time flies. I wanted to make a video for you guys about 7 things that I learned in my mid-20s. At 27, I actually feel younger than I did at 25, and I think that these 7 things have a lot to do with that. So let's just jump on in. Number 1, stop judging people at first sight. I think as human beings, it is a natural response to strangers in our space to judge how they look or how they appear to you. I think it's a defense mechanism to keep odd people at bay. But I realized throughout my mid-20s that I was missing out on a lot of really valuable connections just because I would judge somebody based on how they looked. I would look at a person and be like, oh, there's no way that they have this kind of career or that they would be interested in what I'm sharing with them. But after I stopped judging people based on how they looked and I started going up to people to initiate conversation anyways, I found that you never know who's going to be a valuable asset to your network. You never know what you are going to be able to offer to somebody else. So stop judging people based on how they look. This does not mean by any means that you should not go with your gut if somebody feels strange. Maybe pass on that, but stop judging people on how they look. Number 2, don't limit yourself to making connections with people who are only around your age. I found in the last couple of years that some of my most valuable connections and even some of my best friends have come from age groups that are much younger or much older than me. Don't assume that you have nothing to offer to people who are out of your age group. Number 3, abolish your glass ceiling. There is always a way to think bigger, go bigger, and do more. I learned from a mentor of mine in photography that if your goals aren't scary, they're not big enough. And I found that to be incredibly true. Once I started setting goals that seemed impossible, I started to recognize that it really is true that if you shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars. So cliche, but it's true. If you set goals that are bigger than what you think you can accomplish, you will always be setting a really high personal standard for yourself and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, and that's where the growth happens. Number 4, never underestimate the power of where you are right now. Another cliche, I know, but you are exactly where you need to be, learning the lessons that you need to learn right now where you're at. Sometimes you just have to take a step back and look at things from an outside perspective and fine-tune what you're already experiencing to get the most out of it. Number 5, don't be afraid to break the mold. Do things differently and constantly innovate your own processes. What works for someone else might not work for you. Just because somebody else did something one way and it worked for them doesn't mean that that's going to be your experience. Always strive to reinvent the wheel. Number 6, don't stress so much about defining yourself, especially in your mid-20s. In your mid-20s, you're still really figuring out who you are, and honestly, it wasn't until the last couple of months that I realized I don't think we'll ever really know who we truly are. I think that's a lifelong process of growth and change. I think that who we are changes from day to day, from year to year. Once I had that kind of aha moment, things started to fall into place for me. I know you guys probably know here on my YouTube, if you followed me for a long time, I've had a lot of trouble staying really consistent with content creation. And I think that struggle in defining myself, thinking that I had to know who I was in order to put stuff out into the world, is responsible for that issue. I was afraid to put myself out there because I really had no idea how people would see me or see my videos, if they would even like them or find value in what I had to offer. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter. Don't be concerned with how people see you. There will always be somebody who can relate to your experiences. There will always be someone who wants to hear what you have to say. Just focus on experiencing the world around you. I promise it'll all fall into place sooner or later. And this brings me to number 7. I honestly think that this is what has been the most important lesson for me. Don't be afraid to say flat out no to the things and the people that aren't for you. I know that's also supposedly another cliche, but at the end of the day, the only person that you're truly obligated to is you. The only clock that you're actually on is your own. Time is an invaluable resource that we can never get back. Someone else's time, length of life, or experience might not be as long or as short as yours. Don't waste time on dead-end jobs. Don't waste time on dead-end people, hobbies you don't like, or living somewhere you don't enjoy living. Every time you say no to what doesn't serve you, you get closer to your yes. So that was the top 7 things that I learned in my mid-20s. I'm getting closer to 30 and I'm looking forward to all of the beautiful things that life has in store for me. I hope that you found some value in this video and I hope that you stick around. I've got some really cool content planned out for the next few years. I've really decided to make a commitment to trying to do more YouTube. We'll see how it goes. Until next time.